let's head into the real wrap up of this thing and provide a quick summary of some of the key points that we discussed in preparation for all 4 of the end of year data collections, as well as for the cohort poll. So understanding the processing methods and the operational keys for CalPADS file types will allow you to submit targeted data in advance prior to May 6th and will assist you in troubleshooting. And that troubleshooting can also occur in advance prior to May 6th through the data discrepancies page in CalPADS. An early submission of end of year 1 data will allow you to verify completer to pathway mapping, and that is CTE, completer to pathway mapping. The college and career indicator on the California school dashboard has often been complained as not incorporating all of the CTE or all of the CTE courses that are taking place at LEAs. And CTE completer or CTE pathway completion only informs the college and career indicator if 3 file types align. If your course section completion, student course section completion, and student career technical education files all align, those 3 files must align for the college and career indicator to be informed by CTE pathway completion. And so making sure that that alignment exists, verifying completer to pathway mapping using the valid code combinations document will be very helpful for you in end of year 1. And will be very helpful, particularly in getting an accurate college and career indicator on the California school dashboard as a result of end of year 1. All right, ensure that your school-wide programs are certified in CARS. CARS is sometimes called CONAP. So if you hear CONAP referred to, that is relevant to end of year 2. And those school-wide programs are certified in CARS to overcome the biggest impediment to end of year 2. Again, not all of your program data in end of year 2 comes from CARS, but typically the vast majority of it does. And so it really helps for an easy submission or an easy certification in end of year 2 to have an ongoing submission of your program or your SBRG records. Get that winner's certification of CARS done, and then you'll have all of your EOY2 data in prior to May 6th. All right. End of year 3 is again by file type the largest data collection in CalPADS. Yet every file type other than the student absence summary can be submitted in advance of the snapshot running on May 6th. And it is large. It is going to be a big workload. So getting some of that done early or beginning to start knocking out that end EOY3 workload early will really help you towards certification and towards the certification of high quality data, because you'll have a lot of time to review that data for accuracy. We always recommend that you approve end of year 4 early so that your SELPAs have time to review their reports. That's not limited to end of year 4. End of year 3 also requires SELPA approval, and SELPAs typically wait to review an LEA approved revision. So we typically do recommend that you try to approve end of year 3 and end of year 4 early to allow your SELPAs additional time to review data. And again, that helps with the quality side of CalPADS reporting. The next kind of key item or key point that we covered today was that CalPADS work is constant and the data submission is required for testing for your cohort and for students with disabilities monitoring. CSIS and the CDE monitor whether LEAs will be error-free by July 12th. July 12th is our error-free buy date for EOY. This is our milestone slide for the end of year data submissions. So we recommend that you work on data population between now and May 6th in your student information system, as well as in CalPADS. And we recommend that you conclude data population in CalPADS no later than June 19th. From June 20th till July 10th, we recommend that you are working to resolve your certification errors, your data discrepancies, and working to ensure good quality of data in the CalPADS interface. Again, July 11th is the recommended error-free buy date for EOY. From July 11th to July 18th, you should be sending your end of year reports over to your subject matter experts in the various departments at your LEA with expertise over the data sets that are being reported to review that data for accuracy and to recommend changes that must be made for accuracy. There are many folks at your LEAs who have expertise over this data who are not technical folks and who may have trouble interpreting data reports. And so it may be pertinent for you to reach out to these folks earlier than July 11th if you know that you'll need to provide some training and some guidance on interpreting these data reports so that you can help them to understand the sources of the information so that they can verify for accuracy at the source there. And if you are interested in learning more about how to train report reviewers locally, please let me know in chat. I would like to discuss that with you. From July 22nd till July 25th, we recommend that you work towards both LEA approval and SELPA approval. Approval is required in all 4 of the end of year submissions, but LEA approval equals certification in end of year 1 and in end of year 2. So certification is required by July 25th for end of year 1 and end of year 2. End of year 3 and end of year 4, though, require SELPA approval in addition. And so at end of year 3 and 4, we have an additional window here from July 26th until August 8th for you and your SELPA to review data reports to ensure accuracy. And the final amendment deadline for the end of year 3 and 4 data collections is August 8th. Not listed on this milestone slide, but still very important for you, is the CalPADS cohort poll that will happen on August 15th. And so if end of years 1 through 4 are taking up a lot of your time between now and August 8th, I would say around the amendment window, so around August 26th, would be a great time for you to begin reviewing your cohort reports. Again, those are 15.1 and 15.2. 15.1 is the aggregate. So that's the one that really should be accurate because it contains the counts that are used in the dashboard calculations. All right, Dominic again from the Special Education Division at the CDE is traveling to county offices and SELPAs throughout spring, providing information on the end of year 4 submission and the special education data that is included in the end of year 4 submission. So please check with your local county offices or the CDE special education team for registration details. We did place the locations as well as the dates for the special education roadshows on the slide there, and registration should be on the CDE webpage. CalPADS end of year training registration is now available in Bridge for more than just the primer. We have all of our end of year sessions are now available for registration. The first live training began today, and again, live trainings for end of year will continue throughout April and May. Training has been offered earlier this year than in the prior academic years in order to encourage an earlier submission from LEAs for the end of year data submission. And this is again in line with the earlier release of the California School Dashboard. We did have the regional meetings for March that covered the end of year data submissions with the CDE, but we will additionally, while the end of year submissions are going on, have the May regional meetings, which will focus on upcoming changes for the new school year. So prepping for the 25 to 26 academic year is also on the horizon in terms of offerings from CSIS and the CDE. So just to reiterate some resources that we have for you, please stay current with training and with the different development resources, documentation and guidance, as well as flash communications. So the CSIS LMS, Bridge, the CSIS YouTube training channel, and the CalPADS user manual, the system documentation page, and the CSIS website are all fantastic resources and locations to find support. The CSIS YouTube training channel houses all of our training recordings, including our orientation, basics, data population, reporting and certification, advanced, and skill building courses. If you need to submit a support request, the CalPADS service desk is the fastest way to reach out and talk to the service desk. The web form is located under Help in the CalPADS web portal. There are service request links in the CalPADS user manual, and you can submit a service request through the CSIS website. In addition to the web form, you can either email or telephone the support desk. But please be aware that email and telephone support are not instantaneous, and the web form is the fastest way to obtain support. However, regardless of how you contact the support desk, we will assist you. Please be aware that there is a CSIS FICMAT listserv, which allows you to communicate with CalPADS professionals, whether they be other LEAs, the CSIS Client Services team, or members of the CDE. This is a two-way form of communication, and it adds great value to your support because LEAs using similar local systems can resolve problems related to those systems with direct communication. Also, please be aware of the CDE listserv for CalPADS, and important and timely communications are provided to LEAs through the CDE's CalPADS listserv. Please take the time to complete our training survey, and I will ask Marshall to place the survey link in chat now. He beat me to it. Quick draw McGraw over there. Your responses do assist us in improving our trainings. We do review the surveys on a regular basis, and due to your suggestions and recommendations, we add and improvements to our trainings after each iteration. And we've added more visual aids and more demonstrations to our trainings based on your feedback from the fall sessions. And we do thank you for that feedback. And we would like to thank you for your attendance in the end of year primer training today. I know it was a long one. I know we covered a lot of information there, but I'd like to thank you all for hanging in there with me. I've got a lot of faith in you to do well during the end of your submissions here, and I think attending the EOI primer training is a very good sign of success for you this academic year.
You have completed this training. Thank you for attending.